Let me ask you guys something. What if you had to hide your true self, your true identity, just to survive? What if you were forced to wear a mask and perform just to improve your work environment, your work performance, to be shown the true person that you are? What if you had to hide your true self in order to just survive in the end? That is the topic of today with the help of the personal librarian. The personal librarian follows Belle as she becomes the personal librarian to JP Morgan. This is the Literary Tailor, where we have great books and even better conversations. So let's get into it, guys. If you guys are looking for an escape, to let your hair down, to enjoy these stories about courage, fear, and hope, this is the place for you. The Literary Tailor is the place for you. Like and subscribe now so you don't miss any more future videos and that we have here. When we first meet our main character, Belle, she's a very attractive young woman who's very intelligent and also ambitious. She's working at a Princeton University library. It's here where we find out how intelligent and how much she knows about art, which is a main key for her next job. We also know that Belle is African American. And for here, we know that African Americans during early 1900s weren't treated as equal compared to their white counterparts. So it's here where we start to see the identity issue, because her parents were viewed as being African American as completely opposite. Her father favored for her to treat herself like an African American. Her mother was the opposite. She actually wanted her daughter to grow up and live as white. So much so, she even changed her last name just to make sure that she followed and lived the white life. And this created a big issue with her father, so much so she never spoke to her father after one night where he couldn't take this identity issue anymore and just decided to leave the family. It's here that we notice that Belle starts to struggle with this new identity that she has to put a mask on for her, just to live her day-to-day life. So when a relative of JP Morgan stops by at Princeton University and visits Belle, he informs her of this new position opening up at JP Morgan's library. And it's here where we start to notice that Belle's ambition for this job at this library, because it allows her to even move up in the world, to move her position up, if you will, even being black. Well, she had to hide the fact that she was black. But this position allowed her to be in the center of power, especially when that person who will become her boss is none other than JP Morgan himself. It's in this new world where Belle steps into a new world that she never knew she could even get into. This new world where it's full of sharks and she has to navigate in order to protect her cover and to blend in. It's this world where she has to evolve into not just a woman that worked with JP Morgan. She had to become almost like his partner in crime, if you will, in order to secure these deals that for the art, if you will, for the museum and the library that JP Morgan creates. This library is so important for her to create as almost like a lasting piece of her legacy. So she does everything, all the blood, sweat, and tear, and to secure these deals and secure these manuscripts. And she does this with ease almost. And she becomes a really elite. She becomes very an important role in JP Morgan's library's success. Even though that she had to navigate this world, she can't reveal her true identity as being black. In fact, she tells her friends or anyone that asks that she's from, or her grandparents are from Portugal, because even letting know anyone, even close friends, that she's black could have a huge impact on her job. Even so, it might even cost her job even more. Obviously, these were times during lynchings. So to have a powerful black woman in New York being almost shoulder to shoulder with JP Morgan would create a big issue. So for Belle, she had to wear a mask and perform almost every day, just to make sure that her family and herself are safe and have the income to survive. And it's where we meet also two people that do the same thing. From Bernard being pretending he's not Jewish, and also J.P. Morgan's daughter not pretending she's a lesbian. It's this idea that Belle has to pass on being white in order just to survive, which creates a big issue for me as I think about it, where even today people have to wear a mask in order to survive or forget the person that they don't want people to know who they are, which is a big issue. So for Belle to pass off as white is a very sad situation, if you ask me, for Belle, because letting her true self shine, however, would be a big mistake on her part in order for her to succeed at this job in this new world that she's trying to accomplish. Just to give you guys a little backstory on the America where Belle has to survive in, this is a very socially and radically different world compared to today. The 3Ks are running around lynching her people. So this is where her situation becomes dire. Her mother even tells her instructions, her guides to act white, such as she can't look at another black person in the eye because he might tell someone that she's black. These are rules that she had to follow. Even her mother makes sure, well, she lives with her mother still, and her mother informs her and tries to encourage her to continue passing off as white in order for them to survive and continue having an income. So this creates a big issue for Belle as this new world. Also, on top of that, with the socially and racially divided world, so she was sort of really stuck in a huge middle, and also a world that would devour her and get rid of her as soon as they found her. Just to be a woman at this time also creates how limited Belle's options were, especially being shoulder to shoulder with someone like J.P. Morgan. That doesn't happen every day, especially for just being a woman. So this role that she had to become allows her, almost limits her to a role that she has to be. And this creates more of a danger, more of a dire situation for her. Even consuming alcohol could be a huge issue, well, which it becomes because she can also explore out her hidden secret. Even a secret she couldn't even tell her lover, Bernard, that she's black. She continued to hide this fact. So having this limit of her true self is also creates a big issue. As mentioned, Belle's last name was changed because of her mother's order, if you will, or yeah, maybe more of a suggestion, because this symbolizes that she has to wash or eliminate the fact that she's black in order to blend in this white ruling world that she has to step into. As she sort of washes this way of her true identity, her black identity. This also gives her access to a world that she would not be able to access if she was black. Also, however, it also costs her the feeling of being truly accepted, which is a thing Belle continues to struggle on because she has to pretend at this mask, this performance of a lifetime, which is she has to continue from day to day, even in the presence of J.P. Morgan. So this cost almost overweights the access, as this cost is almost giving her own self, her own identity up just to survive. Belle is a very good at her job, so much so libraries from across the pond even wanted to hire her. J.P. Morgan feared that someone will take her from him. He even admits her as one of the big assets to him. So much so, J.P. Morgan even leaves money in his will to her, actually a large sum, I think almost over $1 million in today's time. But this achievement of hers, of every art piece that she acquires for the library, is also more of a dangerous act on its own because it almost reveals a side of her to new people that she doesn't want to reveal the true identity to herself, including her lover, Bernard. And this allows her to almost get into dangerous situations on her own, because these dangerous situations could also have a huge impact on her employment, especially with the people she hangs around with, who JP Morgan might not like, and he doesn't like Bernard at all. If by chance that Belle's true identity, the true identity of being black, comes out, she loses everything she works for. Her employment would be gone, her family could be in trouble, and she herself could be in trouble as well with this radical world, this racially divided world. So if just one person find out that she was black, that could ruin her. And actually one person might have found out that she was black, JP Morgan's daughter. But this is where Belle has to stare her in the eye and sort of force her not to tell. And it's with day-to-day life for Belle that she has to constantly almost quiet the true self of herself. I don't know if that would make sense. But she has to hide the person that she really is, because just a tiny little slip up could cost her everything. So of course this will create a huge burden on her, a huge burden I don't think anyone would want to carry, to not allow anyone close to them, even a lover or a close personal friend, know the true person that they were talking to, the true person inside. And for me, this is a huge heartbreaker for me, because I don't know how I would survive in Belle's shoes, to hide the person who I truly am in order to survive. And we really see the tension of this for Belle, as she can't tell her lover that she's black. Even so, they even grow this deep bond, despite Bernard being married. They have this strong connection, but she still can't tell him that she's black, because this could also transfer rumor, because I guess there's a lot of rumors at these times, and it's not hard to hide one, that even just a mention to Bernard that she's black could transfer over to JP Morgan, and that could cost her job. Also, another big tension part is with her relationship with JP Morgan. This becomes almost like a paternal relationship in a weird way, even though they try to I guess hit on each other, but it just never worked out. But this also creates a huge tension, because JP Morgan almost sees her as a property of him. It's because all the artwork will be in his name, and the library will be in his name, and he also includes Belle almost in his name. It almost becomes like a slave almost relationship at some points, where this almost becomes really a troubling relationship almost towards the end. As mentioned, I wouldn't know how I would survive in Belle's shoes if I had to wear them just for a day, because that would order me to hide the true self of myself. I don't know if that makes sense. But I would have to hide my true identity, even to my friends, or even in a relationship. I think putting on a mask I do think people do wear masks every day, rather be just a little bit, or even their whole identity in that one mask they have to show on every day. So for me, to even wear this mask that Belle has to just to survive would be just a heartbreaking situation for me. So this is where my deep respect for Belle, as her secret of being black, wouldn't be known until long after her death in 1999. This book really opened my eyes to two perspectives that I don't know of. One, being a woman, and two, being black in America. For obviously, I was given more opportunities. And this book showed me that blacks weren't given the same opportunities. And you can even argue today that blacks aren't given the same opportunities as white. So for me, just to see this new lens of a black woman in a very hostile America, where for socially, racially, pretty much everything, creates a new perspective for me, just to understand how much my life had I had more opportunities. Whereas Belle, these opportunities wouldn't happen if she had to lie to everyone that she's white, when the truth is she was black. And for me, after I finish this book, I have to carefully think about things I can claim as my own. And for me, I can't say anything really I can claim as my own, because obviously I was given these opportunities because I was like, one big part was because I am white. So for me to claim anything as my own just isn't a thing I can say. Of course, I do put on a different performance, not an extreme as Belle's, but I do put on a different performance in different scenarios or different people I'm hanging out with. Obviously, I'm a son to my mom, but I'm also a friend to others that are people I hang out with. I'm also very more quiet or more outgoing, just depending on the people I'm with. Obviously, these are very not the same situation as Belle, but still I put on a different mask, if you will, different performance on the different situations that I am in. And I think I can say this with confidence that me, and as well as everyone watching, that we play a role when it comes to our professional lives. Our professional lives, which might be a suit and tie every day, uh, going to a job you might not like, but you still have to perform and put this performance on as being the best employee. I know when it comes to my professional self, I'm more thoughtful. I'm more thoughtful on my wardrobe. I'm more thoughtful pretty much my whole presentation. When I'm home, I could care less how I look. I'm also more relaxed when I'm home, so I let my guard down when I'm home. And I think this is where I put my professional mask on, where I'm more alert and more outgoing. When I'm home, I take that mask off, and I'm able to become more of a relaxed version of myself. Even online, this online version of myself is a little different from my real self. I'm still learning a few things here and there. Obviously, this is a very new channel, only 2 months in. So, but I noticed that my performance becomes more different when I'm looking at you guys and talking about books compared to when I'm not in front of the camera. I'm more thoughtful in my presentation with the camera than when I'm not. I think it's through these versions where I can see what's important and what's the things I desire most. And for me, having this online presence, even this mask I have to wear, is what truly makes me want this even more. This having this platform just to talk about books is create a new identity of myself. Well, not more of a uh, micro, I'll grow my identity, if you will, because I'm always a bookworm at heart. So just having this platform just to talk about books isn't really a big change. But for me to just talk about books for you guys is just a new world for me too, and a new version of myself that I'm creating day by day. I actually do tiny calculations every day with my day-to-day life. I'm able to catch myself when I'm in my professional way a lot more. I'm able to catch myself in conversations with people in a more professional setting, that I'm able to catch on things real quick compared to home when I'm more relaxed. I'm able to catch on the things where I'm able to use them in my day-to-day life. I think that this question with Belle also is that every day that she has to wear this mask, she's also lying to people. She's not telling the truth of her true identity. So I'm able to look at this as well using my own life, where I had to trade being honest for being liked. I think this might not apply to me as much because I always choose honesty over being liked. But I think I can understand this in Belle's shoes, where she had to lie in order to be liked by her employers and the people around her. Obviously, when I'm reading this book, when I'm finally closed the book, I do feel slightly uncomfortable, because having this idea that Belle has to use this identity, this more falsehood of her true self, make me feel how lucky I got it, where I don't have to have a identity. I don't have to have this new or false identity that I had to use in order to get ahead of life. I can be myself. But for Belle, she couldn't use her real self. For me, this made me uncomfortable, because it just showed me that I am really lucky compared to Belle. I actually think being uncomfortable is really beneficial for me, because I'm able to grow this empathy towards people like Belle, towards people to have those who have to hide their identity. For me, having this empathy is a true benefit for reading this book. And for Belle, she has to grow this. Her new identity involves being almost like two versions of slaves, one for J.P. Morgan himself and one for the people around him, where she can't fully be herself. She can't have her own choice. She has to rely on the choices that her mother suggested she would choose, or the choices that J.P. Morgan sort of gives her, such as attending funerals or family gatherings, even though she doesn't want to go. She still is ordered to go and almost treated like a slave, so much so that J.P. Morgan even almost goes there just a little bit. He never says the word, but it was getting to that point. And I think this is where this identity also collides with her true self, because she's not able to use these freedoms of choice. Her freedom of choice was very limited. The only freedom of choice she even had was at her own home, and that's pretty much it. So for her, having this conflict of interest between her true self and her false self creates a tension on its own. I think this creates a more of a dire situation and more heartbreaking situation for Belle at the end. Belle's father was a complete opposite from her mother. Belle's father fought for equality for African Americans, even so being alongside with a lot of huge writers like Webb Du Bois. But it's also that this relationship with her father where she's able to connect to her true self, her true identity, which is being black. In order for her to become part of the world of the white people that she has to live among, to blend in, she has to become what these white elites are, very power. For Belle, she has to accept this new identity. Well, not accept, but she has to grow into this new identity in order to be among the white elites. She has to become power hungry. She has to become very educated. She has to become ambitious. She has to become everything that the white elites in order just to survive and to blend in the world around her. Obviously, this new role that she has to evolve into allows her to become even more powerful than anyone in her position ever could, whether they be a black or a woman. But however, this new power that she gains also erases her true identity, her true self, which is a huge harmful to her, as she can't, this huge burden that she has to continue wearing even up till her death. She has to carry this burden pretty much throughout her life. For Belle, she's always on guard. She always she's always in performance mode, if you will. She never allows any second to pass, because one slip is all it takes for her world to come crashing down. But for Belle, when she's most on guard is when she's working with J.P. Morgan, because this man has more influential power, just in power in general. So for her, this is the man that can hold the true key for her success. So much so, obviously, she has to hide the fact that she's black from him, even though they create this personal bond, this really caring bond. She still can't tell the man that she almost trusts completely who she really is. There's lots of moments in this book where we fear that Belle might be found out. The huge moment that we feared for Belle's safety was actually when she got pregnant by Bernard. Obviously, this would be a huge concern. Obviously, she wasn't married, but also this could reveal her true identity, especially if the baby comes out black. Obviously, hard to describe to Bernard to anyone why the baby is black. This is a moment where we have to fear for Belle's safety. Obviously, she feared it so much that she got rid of the baby, if you will. And this is where, again, creates a heartbreaking scenario for her, where she has to hide her true self. In these situations that Belle finds her in, among the white elite, she's sure to find African Americans working alongside them, not in the roles, but more like in the serving role, or more like not a role equal to them, if you will. So this also creates issues with her, because she has to lie to these people that she's one of them. And this creates a more of a issue as she has to almost guide her choices from day to day. Really, she can't trust anyone almost. The only person she could trust, the only person that she can let her hair down and let her true self be known is her family. For Belle, she has to hear racist comments as well, being this is early 1900s, still a racially separated, racially hated world, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense. But she also has to deal with these comments as well as comments against other religions, as J.P. Morgan would also comment on, especially for Jewish community, if you will. But for Belle, she couldn't really comment on these without getting angry, if you will. However, she's unable to even comment on these because she doesn't want these feelings to erupt and let her cover be blown. One of the key pillars of this channel is hope, and this book sure has a lot of hope in it. For Belle, she has a hope of being among these people, having this powerful relationship with J.P. Morgan, and just being this powerful woman in this world creates a identity identity issue where she again can't have this true identity of herself be known. But she continues hoping on that this one day that she would be able to reveal who she is. Belle is very good at her job, so much so even today the museum in New York City is one of the most viewed cities in the world. And it's this library, or now it's a museum, that she becomes so crucial in creating that even every manuscript that J.P. Morgan wanted, he got for her. And she had to do this almost by being invisible as well. She impacts the environment around her, even to the point that she remains invisible herself. Another key pillar of this channel is courage. This term might be interesting to this book, but it's for sure here in this book, because courage is what defines Belle truly. It's this courage that keeps her moving forward. It's this courage that keeps her driving forward to make sure that her family is well taken care of. She continues this lie. She continues this fraud identity, so much so that just to protect her family is really what really mattered to her, even at the cost of her own her own mental health, her own self-worth. Another question I can ask myself is, are Belle's actions heroic or tragic? For me, they're both, because she has to continue this lie. She has to continue this fraud identity, but because the people that she's supporting, because she brings in the most money for her family. They all live together, so her paycheck pays for her entire family. So for me, her choices are very a honorable thing, as well as tragic, because this eats away at her. This tears her self-worth. Obviously, not letting people know, the most important people in her life know who she is, obviously will have a big impact on her, a huge tear, really just a deep down bad feeling. Obviously, she can't tell the people who she really is. And from every moment that I read Belle's actions, I couldn't help feeling empathy for her, because I don't know if I could do any of the choices that she had to do in order to save her job and obviously save her livelihood. So for me, the emotions that stirred inside me were very emotional, but also almost admirable for her, because she continues to, no matter what, continue moving forward at the cost of her own identity being lost. A huge setback for Belle is this feeling of loneliness. Obviously, she can't let the right people in knowing who she really is, so she has to allow this fake part of her, this fake person that she portrays, she acts, this allows her, or this creates a sense of loneliness for her because she can't allow these people in. But with this sense of courage, Belle keeps on moving forward in this world. She continues to exist in two worlds that she probably shouldn't be involved in. Well, at least one of them, the white elite world. But she continues to follow through. She's able to live and grow into this powerful woman in New York among the art community, among the white elites themselves. She gains a following. She gains a feeling of sense of being involved in the world where she lives now, in the world of the white elite. She's able to blend with these people. She's able to live among them, but still remain being black in the real world where she has to return every night, which is her apartment with her family. The relationships that she builds, whether between JP Morgan, his family, or Bernard, her lover, these relationships shapes and has a impact on who she becomes throughout her years of life, These relationships transform her into more of a damaged figure, if you will, because with each tragic impact that these relationships have on her, she starts to lose more of her true self and starts to become even more burdened in this new identity for herself. So these relationships have a huge impact on her throughout the whole book. If her secret ever got out, pretty much everyone in her professional world, in this white elite's world, would be gone. As JP Morgan would sure fire her, his family would not talk to her. And most of all, her lover, Bernard, would probably not talk to her as well. So allowing anyone know that her secret, her true identity, her true self, is just not a thing that she could afford to do. She has to continue with this lie even past her death. Belle starts to have this growth of ambition as well, which is something I can relate to, being ambitious myself. But for her, this ambition that she starts to gain also becomes a trap for her as well, because this ambition allows her to almost let her guard down just a little bit. And obviously that's a bad thing for her, to let her guard down, because something might slip. There you guys have it, The Personal Librarian. I really enjoyed this book. I think it's one of my favorites I've read so far. So I highly recommend this book for anyone who's interested in historical fiction or just looking for a good book to read. I'm Zach, and this is Literary Taylor, where we have great books and even better conversations. If you guys enjoyed this video, like and subscribe now so you don't miss any more future videos. Again, I hope you guys had a fun watch with this, and I can't wait for you guys in the next one. Happy reading.